India tested a hypersonic missile and then proudly announced that it had joined the club of deterrence powers. However, apart from the Indians who celebrated enthusiastically, traditional deterrence powers such as China, the United States, and Russia did not seem to pay much attention to this matter. Yes, in the minds of Indians, there are many clubs in the world, such as the Superpower Club, the Atomic Bomb Club, the Hydrogen Bomb Club, the Fifth Generation Fighter Club, the Space Club, and so on. The representatives of the great powers in these clubs often meet around a table and make some major decisions that affect the world situation. What an honor it is to join these clubs. It's like a driver who picks up and drops off the rich in various clubs every day. In his impression, all the rich have joined many clubs. One day he became rich and wanted to experience them one by one. However, the fact is that most rich people are busy with work and occasionally go to the club to relax. The club is not a major part of their lives, but just a place to go. Yes, starting decades ago, China began to meet the standards of various clubs. For example, in the 1980s, China successfully tested intercontinental ballistic missiles and then tested submarine-launched ballistic missiles, joining the so-called Triad Nuclear Deterrence Club. But the Chinese have never publicized how powerful they are, and the Americans didn't take it seriously. In 1996, the United States still dared to send an aircraft carrier battle group to stop China's deterrence against Taiwan. In 1999, the United States bombed the Chinese embassy in Yugoslavia. In the face of China's national anger, Clinton just said, "Sorry." He didn't even use apologize. In 2001, the U.S. reconnaissance plane dared to cruise in the waters near China, causing the Sino-U.S. collision incident. So why are Americans not afraid of China in the Triad Nuclear Deterrence Club? China's intercontinental ballistic missile range is more than 12,000 kilometers, and submarine-launched intercontinental missiles have also been successfully tested many times. Are Americans stupid? Don't they know that club members should respect each other? However, the fact is that the United States is not stupid. It is very clear about China's strength. Also in 1999, Russia sent a small airborne force into Kosovo, and thousands of NATO troops did not dare to touch the Russians. Because at that time, although the Soviet Union had disintegrated, Russia's huge nuclear arsenal could still easily destroy the entire West, and the Russian military equipment at that time was still very sophisticated. In other words, a real military power can easily see through the cards of emerging countries without the need for these countries to announce it themselves. Just like in 1962, when China faced India, which thought it was a world power. It only mobilized the border defense forces of the Chengdu military region to launch a punitive campaign against India. China did not even mobilize the entire Chengdu military region, but defeated the so-called main force of the Indian Army one by one and captured a large number of prisoners. Yes, in 1999, China already had a considerable number of nuclear warheads, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and nuclear submarines. But the United States has a missile defense system, GPS deployed in space, an air force that can easily suppress China, and a powerful fleet that can annihilate the main force of the Chinese Navy within a few hours. China's most advanced fighter Su-27 equipment is not enough, and other aircraft are almost flying targets in the face of the United States' massive F-15, F-16, airborne early warning aircraft, and electronic warfare aircraft. China's nuclear submarines are backward in noise control. As long as they leave the coast, the U.S. sonar system can detect them. The U.S. Ohio-class ballistic missile nuclear submarines, known as the Ocean Black Hole, one of them can send China to hell. The U.S. also has a large number of Los Angeles-class and Seawolf-class attack nuclear submarines. If China uses nuclear weapons to attack the U.S., the biggest possibility is that the U.S. will be unscathed and China will be tacitly eliminated from the Earth by the U.S. Under such a comparison of national strength, it is completely understandable that Clinton does not want to apologize to China. Let's take a look at India today. Its ballistic missiles have an embarrassing record of not being found after launch. In the eyes of traditional nuclear powers, they are simply experimental semi-finished products, but this does not prevent Indians from treating them as a great power weapon. Without mastering the ability to manufacture conventional submarines, India has skipped the two stages of conventional powered submarines and nuclear-powered attack submarines and built ballistic missile nuclear submarines in one step. Its nuclear reactor was designed and manufactured with the help of Russia. It is based on the old model of the Soviet era. The Russians themselves dare not use it because of the excessive noise and poor performance. On such an industrial basis, the Indians forcibly assembled the Arihant nuclear submarine. The submarine can only carry 4 ballistic missiles, and India's submarine-launched missiles have not been fully verified, and the stability and nuclear accuracy are difficult to guarantee, and the range is not enough for deterrence. Under such circumstances, the Indians dared to build a second one. Such a perfunctory attitude is likely to produce industrial garbage like the LCA fighter and the Arjun tank. The Arihant nuclear submarine was almost scrapped because the sailors forgot to close the hatch when diving, and the submarine was flooded by seawater. In fact, to this day, India does not have the ability to design and manufacture automobile engines, let alone higher-level engines. The Arjun tank uses a German engine, the LCA fighter uses a Russian engine, the Arihant nuclear submarine uses a nuclear reactor designed with the help of Russia, and the conventional submarine is French technology. The domestically produced aircraft carrier that Indians are proud of has a British engine, an Israeli radar, and a Russian carrier-based aircraft. Almost all core components are imported, but it claims to have a localization rate of 75%. When it was on trial, the wave stripes at the stern showed that the ship had severe pitching. The Indian Navy actually dared to accept such a patchwork of junk and even claimed to have joined the world's double aircraft carrier club. I really don't understand why Indians like the word club so much. Let me provide you with a simple fact. India spent a huge amount of money to develop its own rifle, INSAS, but it was rejected by the Indian Army because of its poor performance and low reliability. India still needs to import various light weapons and ammunition from abroad. In other words, it is a country that can't even make a good gun. Since its establishment, the Indian Air Force has crashed more than 1,000 aircrafts, killing a large number of pilots. All aircrafts maintained by Hindustan Aeronautics will basically have serious quality problems, and the crash rate has risen sharply. Indian Chief of Defense Staff Bipin Rawat also died in a helicopter crash, along with his family and several officers. Therefore, when the Indians announced their hypersonic missiles in a high-profile manner, it was not surprising that other countries did not pay attention. Because according to the various data released by India in the past, they were basically fake and boastful, and few countries believed them. India's ballistic missile technology is still far from the level that China had in the 1980s. I just hope that when they really test nuclear missiles, they don't miss the target. If they accidentally hit China and trigger a nuclear war, India will be destroyed. In fact, there are only 2 clubs in the world. One is the club of hardworking and capable people with real power, and the other is the club of clowns who perform everywhere. The first club currently includes countries and organizations such as the United States, China, Russia, Japan, and the European Union. The second club currently only has one country. Who do you think it is?